Hello guys, and welcome to this qualifying session for the Singapore Grand Prix, Marina Bay circuit, the site. And I'm going to be splitting up the qualifying sessions and the actual races here for the remainder of this Backmarker Career Season 1 at the very least. And the reason I'm doing that is because I always kind of felt like I was sort of skipping through the qualifying sessions, not really adding any detail just to get to the races. So I'm going to be splitting them up, and people can watch whatever they want, or they can throw away whatever they want. Anyway, let's look at the setup here a little bit. There's about 30% chance of rain in the actual race, so we're going to be going with a high downforce setup just to be sure. Braking balance is pretty much the same that I always use. 11-11. And suspension, front right height, rear right height. No real fishy stuff there. We just changed our engine though, so we got a completely new unit in there, so we should be able to get some power out of it. And gotta say, this being another street circuit with the realistic damage mod that I'm using, so I'm gonna be expecting a lot of cars not to finish the race. Anyway, our first lap in Q1 here, coming out on the main straight into turns 1, 2, and 3. Actually, it's kind of like a big chicane there into second gear. Going easy on the throttle here out into Republic Boulevard, I believe it is. Coming into the right-hander here, turn 5. Coming out on Raffles Boulevard, the DRS zone. Just going flat out through this turn 6. It's not really a turn. Coming down here into turn 7, down into third, just riding the curb a little bit. Into turn 8, hard on the brakes, a little bit of drifting going on there. Going down St. Andrews Road, we got this third gear turn coming down turn 10, I believe it is, and turns 11 and 12, which is kind of a chicane one more time, coming out on Anderson Bridge into turn 13, down into first, up into second before we actually exit the corner. Bit of a straight here on Esplanade Drive. Coming into turn 14, also a very sharp one, down into second, using all of the track right there, getting as wide an exit as possible. Going through turns 15, 16, and 17 here, which again is sort of like one long chicane, really. And coming down here into turn 18, really hard on the brakes, very, very narrow right here. Turn 19, down into second gear for turn 20, up into third for 21. Coming out on this short straight here before we head on to the main straight, turns 22 and 23 is actually one wide turn. And that's it for our first lap. We are currently in first, and seeing as we have Gutierrez right in front of us, who does not appear to want to move, we are just going to be heading back to the pits and see if this time won't be enough to get us into Q2. I think it is.
Good work. We're through to the next session.
And no surprise there, it was enough to get us into Q2. However, a bit of a surprise, if you take a look down at the bottom here, you'll see that neither Rosberg or Vettel or Bottas or Jenson Button managed to get into Q2, so that's definitely a surprise. Anyway, skipping ahead right to Q2, this is going to be our first lap. As usual, we have a new set of option tires on. We're not going to be doing any more than 2 laps on this set of tires, as we're going to be starting the race on it. Going a little bit wide there into turn 3, out into Republic Boulevard. Got some traffic ahead of us there. I hope we're going to be able to pass them. Gutierrez again. This time he does get out of the way. DRS open, Raffles Boulevard, turn 6. Hard on the brakes into 7. Getting a much better exit than we did on our Q1 lap there. Going a little wide here into turn 8. And to turn 9, St. Andrews Road. Third gear for turn 10. Turns 11 and 12, again, bit of a chicane, getting a little bit too much curb there, losing the back end just a little bit. Turn 13, short change into third so we can really get on that throttle. Turn 14 down into second, using as much of the track as possible. 15, 16, and 17 coming up. Sort of a long chicane one more time. Short changing a little bit there. Getting very hard down into second. The road is very narrow in this part. I predict that we're going to see some carnage in this part of the track. Coming up into turn 22, just coasting for a second. Flat out in fifth, turn 23, and across the line. And an improvement over our Q1 time by almost a full second there, about 0.8 of a second, I believe. So we are not going to be doing any more laps on these tires as we're going to be starting the race on them, and hope this is going to be enough to vault us into the shootout. And it is, and not just that, it is the best time set in Q2, about 1/10 of a second faster than Lewis Hamilton in second, and that's a bit of a surprise, really, but not as big a surprise as the fact that Rosberg didn't even make it into Q2. Anyway, our first lap, Q3. This is going to be a good one, I hope. Just running a little wide there, almost getting the curb. Short-changing into third. Down into third, coasting through the corner here. Flat out through turn 6. Just getting the curb here in turn 7. Bit of drifting going on. And just a momentary lapse in concentration there, and we kind of kissed the barrier. And with this, like I said, with this damage mod that I'm running, those barriers are pretty unforgiving. Damage not too bad, though. We should be able to continue, and I'm not feeling any loss of downforce in the front of the car, so hopefully this lap is going to be good enough to get us a decent starting position on the grid, because I'm not sure how much time it's going to take for the pit crew to fit a new wing. I mean, obviously they can do it in seconds during the race, but I'm not sure how much time it's going to go off my qualifying time if I actually head into the pits right now. So we're going to finish this lap and we're going to see where it takes us. Just getting a little bit of curve there, getting across the line in what is a temporary first at least. And that should be good enough to land us a top 5 starting position, I think. So we're just going to nurse this car back to the pits, trying not to wreck it. And wouldn't you know it, we actually managed to pole position here. Felipe Massa starts in second, Alonso is third, Ricciardo fourth, Magnussen fifth. Hamilton is way down into 6th position. I'm not sure what's up with the Mercs on this track, but Rosberg didn't even make it into Q2, and Hamilton is way down on the pace considering what he's driving. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this, be sure to watch the full race. It'll be up on YouTube in a couple of days or so, and I'll be seeing you then.